Thank you guys for being here today, first of all. Obviously, we're coming off a big win for our program last weekend on the road, which has been a challenge for us in the past. I was really proud of our kids with the mindset they went into the game with. I don't think there was ever any doubt in their mind that they weren't going to win the game. It's kind of the way they went about their business. By no means did we play perfect. We made a lot of mistakes, had to overcome a lot of adversity, but I was proud of the way they handled their business on the road against a really good football team, and we found a way to win. I think, it's Wednesday for me. I'm so far past that. But I think the next challenge for our football program is, yes, we put a lot of energy in. We had a week off. We got ourselves ready to play. Doesn't mean we played perfect, but we were mentally and physically ready to go play the game. You win the game, you celebrate it, and then you got to move on and you got to reload because we got to go take the same attitude into the next game. I think that's where we are in the process right now. It's not good enough just to win a game. You know, if you want to grow as a program, we got an opportunity to go on the road 2 weeks in a row against two programs with unbelievable tradition. I mean, you look at Furman University. Since 1982, they've been in the postseason 16 different times. They've won a national championship at the FCS level. They have one of the more storied programs in FCS football. Now, you look at them and you look at their record and you go, oh, they're 0-4. Well, then you really look at it and they opened up with Michigan State, and then they played three playoff teams that all had a part or a share of the conference, respectively, in the last couple of years. And except for the last game, every game was fairly close. The Coastal game got away from them. From special teams errors, and they got behind early. But they're a very, very good football team that's nowhere close to their record. And as I told our guys, this is it's a rallying point for them. This is that turnaround the season game. You know, they've been marking us as a W, and this time they're going to turn that season around, you know, starting off with Kennesaw State at home. And so this is going to be a great challenge for us. As we continue to build this thing out and do things we want to do here, winning on the road was big, and now what are we going to do with that? You know, is it we just satisfied, we good with it, or we going to regroup, reload, get energized to go back on the road with that same intensity to play a really, really good Furman football team that's going to be more than excited about the opportunity to win a game based on their record and how things have started for them. So it's a great challenge for our football team, and we're looking forward to it. I thought we had a decent day yesterday. It wasn't good as I'd like for it to be of practice, and hopefully today will be better as we build towards the end of the week and build that energy going into Saturday. So this is the first really game week we've had in a while. You open up the season with ETSU, then Point, then off week, and it's we're finally going to get on a routine here for the first time since we started, which I think will be good for us as well. So we're excited about the opportunity, excited about the challenge, and looking forward to it.
Appreciate you taking time to talk to us every week, Coach. In going, up to Furman for this particular game, what are some of the things about them that you guys, need to concern yourselves with, like offensively, defensively?
Well, I mean, they do a little bit of it all on offense. They can be in a one back, and they can be in with a tight end and an H back. I mean, they do a little bit of everything. The quarterbacks are mobile. They got a couple guys they've played. One hurt, I think one of them's back for Saturday. But they're mobile quarterbacks. They got a good running back. Their receiver's really one of their go-to guys, a kid from over here at East Paulding High School. Suttles is his last name. He's probably kind of their guy as far as, getting the ball in the perimeter and throwing the football. Defensively, I think it's the first time. I mean, this is they play an option team a couple times a year. So this is no new news for them. I mean, heck, I've been going against Furman since 1997. And it really hadn't changed a whole lot. I mean, I was in the Southern Conference at Georgia Southern. Georgia Southern played Furman every year. It's one of the biggest rivalries, and the head coach, Bruce Fowler, was there at the time. So they've done this before. They've played against this stuff before. They're going to be sound in what they do. They always have been. They're a very sound football team. So it's going to be a challenge offensively because we're going to have an idea where they're going to be, but then you got to go execute and you got to block. And at the end of the day, that's usually what it comes down to. So I think those are challenges. They got a good Mike linebacker. They got a really good defensive tackle, 75. They got good players. You don't go to Michigan State go toe-to-toe with Michigan State without being a good football team. And they did. When you watch the game, I mean, it's a good football game. So they're good on defense. They're solid on offense. They had some miscues in the last game on special teams that really killed them. They had a blocked field goal for a touchdown. They had a punt return for a touchdown. They had a long kickoff return, got them behind the 8 ball, and then they're trying to play catch-up the whole time. So that really hurt them in the last game. Other than that, it's been one of those battles, and sometimes the ball doesn't bounce the right way, or you got to make your breaks and things happen. And I think that's kind of where they are. So I know they're itching to get back out on the grass and have a chance to win a ball game. But they're a good football team. They're just as good or better than what we just played, without a doubt. Their record's just not the same, and I think partly it's because of who they played. A big part of it. Well, Chandler Burks. Yeah, he's fine. He practiced yesterday. He's good to go. I hope so. That'd be awesome, wouldn't it? I told Coach Newberry after the game, I said, just whatever it was, same thing would be great. Obviously we're trying to do that every week. And obviously in this game, some weeks are better than others. That's just part of it. But, I think a big part of what we've talked about is, one, offensively, we can't turn it over. All right, and two, if we get some out on the other side, then we got a chance to win the ball game. Because a lot of games come down to turnovers, and when you look at it, we're very fortunate last weekend with 3 critical turnovers, 1 for a touchdown. The other 2 were in the red zone that could have been touchdowns on our end to come away with a win, and that was a credit to getting some turnovers on the other side. So I think that's something we're constantly working on, trying to get turnovers, trying to find a way to, whether it's knock the ball out, interception, whatever it is. And, again, I think it goes back to if you're really ready to play mentally and you're locked in to what you're doing and you're playing with championship effort, you give yourself those opportunities to be in those positions to make plays. I hope so. That'd be awesome, wouldn't it? I told Coach Newberry after the game, I said, just whatever it was, same thing would be great. Obviously we're trying to do that every week. And obviously in this game, some weeks are better than others. That's just part of it. But, I think a big part of what we've talked about is, one, offensively, we can't turn it over. All right, and two, if we get some out on the other side, then we got a chance to win the ball game. Because a lot of games come down to turnovers, and when you look at it, we're very fortunate last weekend with 3 critical turnovers, 1 for a touchdown. The other 2 were in the red zone that could have been touchdowns on our end to come away with a win, and that was a credit to getting some turnovers on the other side. So I think that's something we're constantly working on, trying to get turnovers, trying to find a way to, whether it's knock the ball out, interception, whatever it is. And, again, I think it goes back to if you're really ready to play mentally and you're locked in to what you're doing and you're playing with championship effort, you give yourself those opportunities to be in those positions to make plays. Same, Coach Worley tells them all the time, you're one play away, and I think they all understand that based on the way our season's gone. So we prepare 2 quarterbacks get pretty much equal reps in practice. The 1 and 2 quarterback get pretty much equal reps. So those guys are both preparing almost as if they're the starter. And then as they go into the game, they got to be prepared to go in any time. But we prepare those guys the same way. So I think obviously what's happened so far, Daniel knows that he's got to be ready to go at a moment's notice. If something were to happen to Chandler or whatever might happen in the game, that he would have to be ready to go. But I think just the way this thing's gone so far, those kids understand it, and they get themselves ready to go, ready to play. Well, we harp on it all the time. I think it was especially offensively wasn't up to our standards, of where we want to be. I think sometimes we get in a little bit of a lull in a game. We do it in practice too, and we got to find a way to fight through that a little bit. We're going to do something a little bit different today. We don't always move the ball with every time we do a drill, so we're gonna move the ball a bunch today, make them chase the ball, make them get lined up, snap it again, and we do things for different reasons. But we're going to try that a little bit today. We harp on it. It's an emphasis. I mean, I'm sure these guys will tell you we talk more about that than we do X's and O's, because we feel like that's just trademark of Kennesaw State football. If there's one thing you can find about us when we go play hard and where our kids are tough. You know what I mean? And I think we got to continue to work on being assignment sound as we do that. But we're harping on it. We work on it. We do drills at the beginning of practice, whether it's a team takeoff. Sometimes we do what we call an EAT drill. So it's just an effort, attitude, and toughness drill. It's just about effort. But it's something we got to get better at. There's no question about it. At times you see it, but we lack consistency. But I think that's a lot of things right now. Can we consistently do something for 70-something snaps? And that's part of the process right now, you know. That takes some time to get that done, but we gotta gain on it. We gotta gain on it every week. First of all, if you've ever been on a bus for about 9 hours after a night game, then I think it's a no-brainer to have the opportunity to fly somewhere. It's completely different from a physical standpoint, a time standpoint, a sleep standpoint, all those things that I think add up as the year goes on. So I thought the trip went really, really well. Jay Bailey, our director of football operations, does an outstanding job. Everything was really pretty smooth. The flight was smooth. Everything went well, and I think I have to give a lot of credit to Vaughn Williams, everybody involved, that we have that opportunity at Kennesaw State University to do that. We're very thankful for that opportunity. As far as we had a lot of guys, I don't know how many it was. There's at least 25 guys, I'm sure, that had never flown before. There might have been more. There was a lot of hooting and hollering going on as we went down the runway to take off. And there was a lot of long faces as they walked by me getting on the plane of guys that had never flown before. And obviously you guys saw the video online of Keegan Jordan. But we had a lot of guys that were obviously anxious and nervous about what was going on. But I think they found, as I told them on the team meeting, I said, listen, we're gonna fly out of Chattanooga, we're gonna take off, and then we're gonna land in Pittsburgh. Then we're gonna get off the plane. And really it was that simple. And but it's good to get that out of the way, to be honest with you. It's a lot of the firsts were last year. That was another one. But it's good to get that behind us, and now our kids have done it, and we can move forward. We have another flight trip later in the year to New Jersey, so that was good.
Yeah, that young man is fine.
He's absolutely fine. Yeah, he's fine. He's fine. He's good.
Anything else? All right, Coach, thank you.
All right, thank you guys for coming. Appreciate it.